Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy James, and this is a dad's thing. We are on day number 9. Day 9 of a vlog a day for 50 days in a row, counting up to my 50th birthday. And I'm in a little different setting. I'm in the car today. Didn't feel like standing outside. There's a little bit of traffic. Dropped my girls off. They're doing a party at school. And it's one of these days where got to drop off, pick up, and then get to another spot. And I really want my wife to rest right now because at 8:30 tonight, she she will be scrimmaging our youngest daughter. So it's going to be daughters versus moms in basketball. So I want her to rest, conserve her energy, because this is going to be something new for her. But it's going to be fun. But like I said, today is day 9 of 50 vlogs in 50 days leading up to my 50th birthday. And you know, what I want to talk about today is loss of kind of self as we go through this aging process. And, you know, for me, one of the hardest things that ever happened to me was the beginning process of losing my hair. I wish I can show the pictures, but I told you this isn't a vlog to do all of that type of stuff. But in my 30s, I began to bald. My hair started to thinning out. I couldn't wear the hairstyles that I used to wear, and I began to lose my hair. And this is coming from an individual who, you know, in the early 90s, mid 90s, flat top fade, that converted into dreadlocks, and I let my hair grow, and it grew past my shoulders. But then I cut it, which was a choice of my own, and then I was started to get to the tapers, the fades, so on and so forth. But in my 30s, the hairline started to recede. And I know this is something that happens for a lot of men, and it can happen earlier, right? So this isn't one of these midlife things that I'm talking about, but that was a very, very difficult thing for me to experience. And I think that was the first real time, right, that having loss of myself, my hair, and especially at an early age, it started to tell me about just aging and losing things along the way. So very, very hard, very difficult. But as I get closer to this 50th birthday of mine, one of the things that have been happening over the last years to me, which I think has been a little easier for me to deal with, is the loss of my athletic ability, the loss of my strength, right? I'm just gonna say like that manhood, right? I'm an athlete. I grew up playing ball, whether it's football, basketball, whatever it was, running track. I had this athletic ability. And for some reason or another, and I don't know if it was because I've watched professional athletes and these guys at the top of their game, you know, when they start to slow down a little bit, and then you have those guys who want to hang on a little too long. That wasn't me. It was a lot easier for me to say, oh, I lost a step. I don't need to be out on this basketball court ripping and running like I used to, because I don't want to get hurt. And I think a lot of that had to deal with a shift in my mentality, because I knew that time I was going to now spend in fatherhood, right? Caring for my kids, whether it be coaching, doing all of those things. I knew that my time on the court was past me, right? Because I really wanted to be a present dad and that dad who could be a part of my girl's life in all of those different aspects. So for me, over the years, from a mental and from a psychological perspective, I really prepared myself for when I got older and the knees started to hurt. And I didn't bounce back from a running session or riding my mountain bike as quickly as I used to. It didn't bother me. It doesn't bother me because I understand, the limitations in my body. And I really, really, you know, credit that towards just a line of work that I do. As a person in the mental health field, as a social worker, I'm able to be around a lot of people who, talk about their feelings, their emotions, and are able to process these different things or learn to process things, because it's always a learning thing for me. But I've always been in that process of taking care of my mental state in regards to how things around me may be diminishing, lose things, difficulties, what have you. And I was talking to, an individual on my team, a colleague, person in the mental health profession, and I pointed it out. I was like, there's those two things, the loss of my strength and the loss of my hair, are two things as a man that hit me really, really hard to this point in my life. And I said, the one thing that really has helped me is investing in my mental and my emotional health. That's how I'm able, and I just said it, that's how I'm able today to accept the fact that I'm not as fast as I used to be. I can't jump as high as I used to. I can't run as far as I did when I was younger. And that's okay. But I still have a sound mind where I could translate these lessons that I've learned in the past as it relates to those things and help and teach my girls or any other young ladies for the most part, because I coach a lot of young lady sports now that I'm coaching my girls. Any of these other girls, I can teach them those lessons that I learned along the way to help them advance on their journey. And that is so rewarding to be able to look at it from that perspective. So something that could be viewed as a loss, chink in the armor, something that's diminishing my manhood, I'm not all I used to be, I'm able to look at it from a different perspective. And I look at it from a perspective that gives me so much joy. Because instead of me being one athlete on the court, doing whatever it is I used to do, or on the field, or on the diamond, or on the track, I now have, at any given time, a dozen young individuals, young ladies, that I'm able to pour that knowledge, experience, and lessons into so they can be the best that they can be. So that is what I want to leave you today. How do you flip, or how do you prepare for later on in life when you aren't what you used to be? And are you okay with that? I am. I am. I am. I am. So as always, be good. God bless. Take care. Like, subscribe, share. And I really appreciate you coming with me on this journey. I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.